What's up, guys? Max here, and we're going to be looking at Psych-man. So we're expected to see a buff. Now, this is going to be the pre-buff, the old version, the 2020-2021 version of this champion. Actually, 2021. This guy was released, according to this, on February 1st of 2021. So you can see it there at the top right there. But Psych-man, we're going to be taking a look at his damage inside this video. So one of the things I'm basically curious about is if the buff is going to be more damage or more utility. So this guy is lacking maybe a little damage. He does have some damage, and let's talk about it here. So he goes through three phases or three stages, whatever you want to call it, but the easiest way to call them or identify them is going to be by the color. So he's got hate, fear, and doubt. You can see it there on the gameplay, my actual game screen. And hate, it comes in as red, fear comes in as yellow, and doubt is blue. So red, yellow, blue. If it all matters how you remember things. So whether you remember them by names or by colors, whatever's easier for you. Of course, it's going to be in the gameplay. You'll see that here shortly. But those are the three phases of him. And fear, which is red, hate, which is red, is going to be the strongest. It's where his damage is actually present inside Psych-man. So if we look here, so when hate is active, here you can see it says the opponent fights more aggressively and suffers passive concussions during heavy charges and heavy attacks, reducing the ability accuracy by -75%. But makes them more aggressive, meaning they're launching more specials, or just it's easier to intercept. So if you need to do an intercept, then you need to constantly attack the champion. Hate is gonna be your friend, along with the damage. So all attacks, says hate, striking the opponent while they're executing or recovering from a heavy, which is very interesting too. Heavy charge or heavy attack grants Psych-man 18% of borrow power, and that's actually very useful and helpful, as you're gonna be wanting to cycle special twos initially when you start the fights. So you want to get to 2 special twos, and you'll see why. Well, it has to do with banking the furies, and then you want to start cycling special ones for the shock damage. And the more you cycle that, or you keep repeating the special ones, the more damage you're going to be doing with Psych-man here. So here we are going to see the special one. So hate inflicts the opponent with a shock debuff, dealing 23-24 energy damage over 6 seconds, stacking up to 6 times. Inflicts additional shock for each fury buff on Psych-man. So one of the cool things about him, or any possible ways, and you'll see it here in the gameplay, is you want to synergize him to possibly get as many furies as possible, because they get multiplied. So whether he has 2 furies, 3 furies, he's going to be dealing extra damage based off those furies, or once those furies are actually on him. The other cool thing about his special 2, as you can see it there, here, special 2, it says hate, Psych-man gains a fury buff for 14.50 seconds, increasing attack rating by 23-24, stacking up to 2 times. These fury buffs refresh when a new one is gained and when Psych-man cycles modes. So the synergy and the testing we're going to be doing, we're not going to be cycling through any modes, but it's still going to be refreshing as long as you do the 4th light attack combo. And after using Psych-man for a few minutes, hours, as I was testing him, it's easy to keep the cycling going, especially when you bring a synergy champion to never come out of hate. So there's going to be a synergy champion we'll discuss here that he keeps inside the most high damage dealing node, hate, the red, as you will, to do the most damage. But here on the special 2, this is what I was saying, you want to stack those furies, because again, those furies on the special 1 is where the shock damage comes into play. And then on the special 3, when it comes to the special 3 of of him. It's nice. I mean, let's talk about it. Inflicts a stun debuff and power lock passive on the opponent for 3 seconds. During the opponent's next special attack, they suffer a passive concussion, reducing ability actually by 100%, and passive weakness, reducing attack rating by 50%. I didn't notice that to be helpful at all when trying to maximize his damage. Again, his rotation and damage to maximize is basically special 2s into special 1s, which is kind of what you want to do. So the other things about him, I think that's about it. But let's take a look at the synergy that I was discussing here. So when we look at pure hatred, as you can see, the synergies when Mangog, I think at the release of this notes here, it was saying coming soon, so we didn't know the champion back then, but now we know who it is that he synergizes with. So it's Mangog, and with that, we can see it here. It says Psych-man. The control box is unable to cycle out of hate mode, and opponents are 20% more likely to use a heavy attack. So remember that once they use a heavy attack and you counter that, or you attack the heavy, you gain 18% bar of power, which is very good and useful, which is very different and unique to something. I don't think, now that I'm like researching more champions, I can't recall another champion that's doing this. Personal shock debuff's potency is also increased by 60 or plus 60%. Personal fury buffs refresh when the 4th light attack lands a hit or strikes into the block. So again, very easy to kind of keep that fury active. You don't have to cycle. One of the worst things they could have done is basically not been able to cycle the fury, but they kept that little sentence right there, which makes it very easy to do. So we can basically keep ourselves at 2 or 3 furies the entire time, depending on the synergy and the champions you bring. But we're going to be testing pure hatred with Mangog to deal, again, the most damage. Let me know what you guys think. We're going to be showing some footage here of me just playing the champion, and I hope you guys enjoy. So let's take a look at what March in a couple of days here has to offer when it comes to the new buffed up champion Psych-man, and what changes are we expected to see, especially since it looks like he's going to be the only champion that's going to be buffed, as opposed to Guillotine, that she doesn't really, even in the description notes, doesn't say much about anything. Well, she does get a touch on her regen, but I think we're expecting a nice buff on Psych-man, so I hope that is true. So let's take a look at the, again, damage, and I hope you guys enjoy. Peace.
This guy's toast.
tons of damage.